The story opens with a strange awakening. A young man regains consciousness, but there is nothing around him. No light, no sound, only endless darkness. After a moment, something changes. A tiny glow appears ahead of him. The light slowly spreads, revealing a cracked surface. As his vision adjusts, he realizes the light is coming through a broken shell. Peeking through the opening, he catches a glimpse of tall trees and greenery. Somehow, he is in the middle of a forest. Before he can make sense of it, a transparent screen suddenly appears in front of him. The moment he reads it, his mind goes blank. According to the display, his current form is listed as Dragon Egg. At first, he thinks it must be a joke, but the information looks very real. A calm, godlike voice then speaks, explaining that the screen shows his abilities and stats in numerical form. Furious and confused, he demands answers and asks why he has been turned into an egg. The voice responds coldly, saying that explanations are locked until he gains more levels. That answer only makes him angrier. In frustration, he struggles and shakes his body. Unfortunately, that small movement causes him to fall straight out of the tree he was resting in. He smashes into the ground and begins rolling downhill without any control. His wild tumble finally ends near a river. When he looks into the water, reality hits him hard. His reflection clearly shows a large, smooth dragon egg. Seeing how overwhelmed he is, the divine voice finally offers a proper explanation. In this world, dragon eggs are considered F-rank monsters, the weakest class possible. If his shell breaks completely, he will die instantly. Even the small hole he made to see through is extremely dangerous. The voice continues, saying that while dragon eggs sit at the bottom of the food chain, they hold enormous potential. If they survive long enough, they can grow into powerful dragons. Sadly, survival is the hardest part. Dragon eggs are seen as valuable food by many monsters, and since they don't have limbs, their only way to move is by rolling. He decides to escape and begins rolling away as fast as he can. That plan immediately backfires when he rolls off a short cliff. Once again, he crashes hard, but this time the system announces that his fall resistance has increased from level 1 to level 2. Even so, the fall still drains his health, reminding him that he's far from safe. He continues rolling through the forest, lost in thought. He wonders what kind of creature he will become once he hatches. Will he grow into a massive dragon and spend his life fighting just to stay alive? Suddenly, his thoughts are interrupted. He stops moving when he notices a huge insect nearby. Sensing immediate danger, he hides behind a tree and activates his appraisal skill. The result identifies the creature as an egg devourer, a monster that specializes in hunting eggs. The moment the beast notices him, it charges without hesitation. He rolls away as fast as he can, but deep down, he knows he can't outrun it forever. The chase leads them to the edge of a cliff. As the egg devourer leaps forward, trying to swallow him whole, he makes a desperate move. Using all his strength, he dodges at the last second and slams into the monster. The impact throws the creature off balance, and it plunges down the cliff, dying on impact. This becomes his first ever victory. The system announces that he has gained 12 experience points, pushing him all the way to level 5. His stats are fully refreshed, and more importantly, he unlocks the ability to evolve. Two options appear, baby dragon or small dragon. Not knowing the difference, he requests more information. The system explains that the small dragon is a dwarf-type dragon. While smaller than most dragons, it can still grow larger than a bear. The baby dragon, on the other hand, has weak claws and short fangs, making it poorly suited for combat. Now faced with his first major decision, his new life as a monster truly begins. Although the baby dragon form is extremely dangerous, it holds limitless growth. With enough time, it can branch into countless dragon bloodlines. Because of that rare potential, baby dragons are treated as valuable prey. Monsters hunt them for food, and human adventurers chase them for fame and profit. At first, he chooses the small dragon. Compared to the baby dragon, it feels like the smarter choice. Stronger, safer, and far less likely to get him killed early on. But the moment he makes his decision, the divine presence reacts. The voice gently pulls him close and tells him not to trap himself with fear. It says that his future shouldn't be chosen based on safety alone. The voice admits it has high hopes for him and wants him to aim higher than the easy path. Those words leave him unsettled. He starts thinking back to what the system said earlier. The baby dragon had endless evolution paths, while the small dragon sounded powerful but limited. A troubling thought forms in his mind. What if the small small dragon reaches a dead end someday. Even if it's risky, he doesn't want a future filled with regret. With his resolve firm, he changes his choice and selects Baby Dragon instead. The system accepts his decision instantly. In the next moment, his body begins to reshape. His shell disappears, scales form, and limbs grow. When the transformation ends, he finds himself reborn as a yellow baby dragon. A flood of skills pours in, and all his stats rise far beyond what they were before. However, his HP and MP do not recover afterward, leaving him weak and drained. Before he can even think about moving again, his stomach growls loudly. That's when he notices the corpse of the creature he defeated earlier. Strangely, it doesn't look disgusting anymore. It looks tasty. He realizes that strength requires food, especially protein. The moment that thought crosses his mind, his dragon instincts take over. Without hesitation, he eats the monster. Once finished, he curls up and falls into a deep sleep. When he wakes up the next morning, his energy is fully restored. Feeling refreshed, he walks to the river and looks at his reflection. Staring back at him is a small dragon. That's when it finally sinks in. This isn't a dream. He has truly been reborn into another world. Yet something feels off. No matter how hard he tries, he can't remember his past life. Before he can think further, he senses movement behind him. Several dark-colored worms appear. This time, he doesn't run, he charges. Using his new abilities, he tears through the creatures with ease. As he continues fighting, he unlocks even more skills, making each battle faster and smoother than the last. When the last worm falls, hunger returns, but he refuses to eat them again. The taste was unbearable. Instead, he spots nearby mushrooms and decides to try them. That choice turns out to be a mistake almost immediately. The mushrooms are poisonous, and he pays for it badly. From that moment on, he swears never to eat unknown plants again. Determined to find real food, he moves deeper into the forest. After some searching, he spots a gray wolf. It's bigger than him, but fear no longer controls him. He attacks. Using baby breath and dragon punch, he overwhelms the wolf. The flames lightly roast its body, and the smell surprises him. It smells amazing. Curious, he roasted a bit more before taking a bite. It's delicious. Soon after, he encounters another wolf and defeats it even faster. With that victory, his level shoots up to 20 out of 25. Now he knows. Just 5 more levels stand between him and his next evolution. As he grills his meal, he realizes something unsettling. This life is starting to feel natural. Hunting, fighting, eating. He's slowly becoming a true dragon. Still, despite his growing power, loneliness begins to set in, and it's starting to feel empty. Deep down, he finds himself wishing for a companion. Not long after, he hears voices in the distance. He can't understand the language, but the sound alone brings relief. They're human voices, and for the first time since his rebirth, he doesn't feel completely alone. Sensing movement nearby, he quickly slips behind a tree and peeks out. A small party of adventurers is heading his way. For a moment, hope sparks in his chest. Maybe he can talk to them. Then reality hits him. He's a dragon. If they see him as a monster, they might attack instantly. Still, he convinces himself otherwise. He's small, weak, and doesn't look threatening at all. In fact, he might even look cute. There's a chance they won't hurt him. They might even take him in. Trusting that fragile hope, he steps out from behind the tree and stands in front of them, lowering his posture and trying his best to appear harmless. It's a terrible mistake. The adventurers don't hesitate for even a second. To them, he isn't cute or innocent. He's valuable prey. The party leader immediately swings his sword, cutting across his chest. Before he can react, magic surges through his body, numbing his limbs and stealing his strength. He tries to move. He tries to run. Nothing works. Paralyzed on the ground, he watches as the group approaches him calmly, already deciding how to kill him. In that moment, he understands how naive he was. A dragon and humans were never meant to be friends. After surviving endless danger, fighting monsters, and risking everything to evolve, his life is about to end for no reason at all. As the leader raises his weapon for the final strike, a voice suddenly interrupts him. A female adventurer steps forward and stops him. She argues that killing such a small, harmless dragon is unnecessary. Her tone is firm, and to his surprise, the blade never comes down. Confused and barely conscious, he feels warmth spreading through his body. Looking up, he realizes the woman is using healing magic on him. Quickly activating his appraisal skill, he learns her name, Maria. Even though her mana is nearly depleted, she continues healing him anyway. As she speaks, something changes within him. The system announces that he has gained the Greek language skill, allowing him to slowly understand human speech as it levels up. For the first time since his rebirth, he feels genuine relief. But peace doesn't last. Sudden screams echo from deeper in the forest. Maria's expression changes instantly. She recognizes the voices. They're her teammates. Without hesitation, she turns and runs toward the danger. Panicking, he grabs her arm, shaking his head and desperately trying to warn her that whatever is ahead is far too strong. But she pulls free and keeps running. He can't abandon her, forcing his weakened body to move. He chases after her. When he reaches the battlefield, his blood runs cold. Standing before them is a rock dragon, a C-rank monster. Even worse, it has 197 GP, an absurd amount of durability. Maria is already wounded. When he cries out to her, the monster slowly turns its massive head toward him instead. Its eyes lock onto his small body. Frozen in fear, he realizes the truth. This enemy is far beyond him. As the rock dragon focuses on him, his mind goes blank, and one thought echoes in his head. Is this really where everything ends? The little dragon drops from the sky and barely avoids dying, landing hard and sliding into a pile of bushes. His heart is racing. Hiding there, he starts blaming himself for being so dumb. He really thought teaming up with humans would somehow make him strong enough to win. Suddenly, he spots a girl lying on the ground. She's still breathing, but the stone monster is moving closer to her. The dragon doesn't even think twice. He dashes forward to save her, even though a voice in his head keeps screaming at him to turn around and run. His body freezes for a second, like something powerful is holding him in place, reminding him of the truth. He is way too weak to beat a beast that big, but his heart won't let him leave behind someone who protected him before. The monster's tail swings at him. The little dragon rolls across the ground, barely missing it. He keeps rolling again and again, slipping past attacks like a tiny hero in a game. One lucky move even lets him bump the monster right in the head. When he looks back, he sees the mage is gone. The warrior is still alive, but barely. The dragon knows he can't win this fight. His plan is simple now. Lead the monster away and come back later for the humans. But the stone beast slams the ground so hard that dirt and rocks fly everywhere. The dragon gets hit and tumbles back, shocked that the thing can attack the whole area at once. Running won't be enough. He leaps forward and throws a fiery punch. The monster heals right in front of his eyes, proving this battle is hopeless. That's when he makes a choice. He grabs the girl, Myra, and lifts her onto his shoulder. He glances at the wounded man one last time, knowing he doesn't have the strength to save both. As he runs, he notices Myra is losing blood. Panic sets in. He tries to use a healing spell, but nothing happens. This isn't a story where magic saves the day, so instead he trusts his nose. He sniffs the air, searching for the path the humans came from. He finds the trail and sprints as fast as his small legs can carry him, but trouble follows. A pack of gray wolves jumps out and surrounds him. There's nowhere to run. The dragon stands his ground. He fights with everything he has. For a moment, Myra opens her eyes. Through blurry vision, she sees the tiny dragon standing alone against the wolves, protecting her like a fearless guard. Then the world fades and she passes out again. By the time the wolves are gone, night has fallen. The dragon is shaking, tired, and hurt, but he keeps moving. Step by step, he drags himself forward until warm lights appear in the distance. A village. He cries out for help. But to the humans, it just sounds like a monster roaring. Men rush out with tools and weapons. One of them throws a spear, and it strikes the dragon's leg. Pain shoots through his body, but he refuses to drop Myra. Finally, someone recognizes the girl in his arms. The shouting stops. Seeing he can't make them understand his words, the dragon gently sets Myra on the ground and limps back into the forest. Far away in the dark, he finally lets himself rest. Myra is safe. That's what matters. But his leg burns with pain, and a hard truth sinks in. No matter how kind his heart is, the world will always see him as a dragon. As the sun rises, a soft voice echoes in the little dragon's mind. It calls him a tiny hero. It's not much, but to him, it feels like a small badge of honor for what he did. Back in the village, Myra slowly opens her eyes. Her body feels heavy, like she's been asleep forever. Sitting beside her is Marielle, the elf healer, looking tired but relieved. Marielle explains what happened. Myra was in terrible shape. The wounds were so bad that she had to use powerful white magic, the kind she hadn't touched in years. Myra had been out for 2 whole days. That's how close things were. Still confused, Myra asked the same question again and again. Who brought her back? Marielle sighs and changes the subject. She says this never would have happened if Myra hadn't let Da pull her into his dangerous plans. Hearing his name, Myra asks about the others. Marielle's face darkened. Grants didn't make it. His body was found deep in the forest, crushed, like something huge fell on him. As for Da, they never found him. Most likely the dragon got to him first. Myra's hands start to shake. Tears roll down her face. She blames herself for not stopping Da, for not forcing him to turn back when she still had the chance. Marielle tries to comfort her, saying Da was never the kind of man who listened to anyone. He always rushed into danger, no matter what others said. But Myra doesn't see him that way. To her, Da was brave. He was always the first one to stand between the village and any monster. The kids looked up to him because of that. Then she remembers something important. On the day of the trip, Da had gotten into a loud argument at the tavern. Some man laughed at him, saying he once ran away from a stone dragon and would never beat one. Da didn't take that well. He shouted back that it happened 10 years ago. He swore he was stronger now, strong enough to win. That fight lit a fire in him. Not long after, he dragged Grants and Myra into a plan to hunt the dragon. He even claimed Marielle allowed it. Myra knew that wasn't true. The elf had warned her clearly to stay away if Da ever tried something so reckless. But Da used her feelings against her. He said he and Grants would go alone no matter what, and if they died, it would be on her for not coming. Worried about her friends, Myra gave in. She agreed to go, but only if Da promised they would turn back if things got too dangerous. Marielle shakes her head at the memory. She says Da didn't die because of bad luck. He died because of his pride. Then Myra asks the question that won't leave her mind. Did someone carry me back? Marielle says no. She was found at the edge of the village, barely breathing. A monster was nearby, but a man named Gregory scared it away before it could do anything. Myra feels even more confused. She remembers passing out in the forest. There's no way she walked all that distance by herself. Marielle thinks the shock made her forget. Trauma can erase memories, she says. But when Myra closes her eyes and tries to remember, a strange image flashes in her mind. A tiny dragon standing in the dark, fighting wolves to protect her. She opens her eyes quickly and asks what the monster looked like. Marielle can't answer. By the time she arrived, the creature was already gone. Far away in the forest, the tiny hero wakes up. He stretches and blinks, surprised. His leg feels fine. The deep wound from the spear is completely healed. He realizes something then. Being a dragon has one big advantage. A human body would never recover this fast. The little dragon sits alone in the quiet forest, staring at the sky. His thoughts keep drifting back to Myra. Is she safe? Is she warm? Did she wake up yet? He knows the truth. He survived that fight by luck, not strength. Even after growing stronger, the stone monster almost crushed him. If he had been just a little more powerful, things could have ended very differently. That idea burns inside him. I need to get stronger. So he comes up with a smart plan. Instead of fighting monsters one by one, he tricks them into coming to him. He catches a shadow worm and ties it up in a tree, forcing it to cry out for help. When the other worms rush in, they all appear in the same spot. A perfect trap. The dragon doesn't waste a second. He jumps in, breathes fire, and clears them out. Again and again. When the smoke fades, he feels a rush inside him. He's now strong enough to change into something new. A strange voice lists his choices, like a menu floating in the air. Mini dragon, mini angel dragon, child dragon, marble child dragon, plague young dragon. The last one makes him shiver. It sounds like trouble. Confused, he asks the voice what all these names even mean. Why is mini different from child? And what's the difference between baby and little? The voice explains in simple terms. A little dragon grows fast, but it will never grow bigger or stronger than it is now. It's the short road, quick power, but low limits. A baby dragon starts weak, but can become something truly great over time. That's the long road. A child dragon is just a better version of a baby dragon. Stronger body, better growth. The mini path has very few future options, but if it does grow, it always grows into something good. When he asks about the young type, the voice goes quiet. That only makes it feel even more scary, so he asks for details one by one. First, the mini dragon. Small, slow to grow, and not many future paths. The dragon quickly shakes his head. That one's out. Next, the mini angel dragon, a helper dragon that lives to heal and support others. It's great with white magic, but terrible in a fight. He hesitates. Healing sounds nice. He remembers how badly he wished he could save Myra with magic. Still, being weak in battle doesn't feel right. Then comes the child dragon, the natural step forward. Stronger muscles, tougher body, and better fighting power. The voice even says it matches his current current path well. That one feels safe, reliable. After that, the Marble Child Dragon, a rare kind with strange patterns on its skin and much stronger magic than most dragons. The idea of being special makes his eyes light up. Strong magic could be useful someday. Finally, the Plague Young Dragon. The voice describes it as the start of a disaster dragon, a creature that spreads ruin wherever it goes. They don't live long, but they are incredibly smart. The dragon covers his ears. He doesn't want to hear this, but one last detail slips through. This dragon can turn into a human. His eyes go wide. A human form means walking into villages, talking to people, living without being chased or stabbed with spears, living a normal life. Now his heart feels heavy, power, or peace, safety, or acceptance. The little dragon sits there, stuck between two futures, knowing whatever he chooses will change everything. The moment his rebirth ends, the young dragon is overwhelmed. Multiple evolution paths appear before him, and none of them feel right. One choice stands out for all the wrong reasons: Young Plague Dragon. Even the name sounds evil. Choosing it feels like accepting the role of a villain. But there's something he wants more than anything: to become human again and see Miria one last time. After a painful inner struggle, he convinces himself that this path might still lead there. If he becomes a plague dragon now, maybe he can learn human transformation later and live quietly while doing good. With that fragile hope, he makes his choice. The evolution begins immediately. His body twists and grows larger, dark scales spreading across his skin as massive wings burst from his back. His presence becomes heavy and threatening. A calm divine voice announces that the evolution is complete. When he looks into a pool of water, his heart sinks. The reflection staring back at him isn't a hero, it's a monster. The voice explains that his status view has improved, then begins listing his new abilities. He can now fly. His bite has evolved into Venomous Fang. He gains Dragon Scale Dust, released when he spreads his wings, along with Dark-type Affinity, Sickly Breath, and Paralyzing Poison Claws. Instead of excitement, fear fills him. New titles appear: Calamity and Miscreant, and his level rises to 2. Every reward feels more like a curse. Still, he waits for the one skill he truly wants: human transformation. But the voice goes silent. When it finally responds, the answer is crushing. The information is locked behind a higher level. The voice disappears again, leaving the dragon in despair. He's stronger than ever, yet he failed to gain what mattered most. He asks for explanations of his skills. The voice returns, revealing that Dragon Scale Dust releases a deadly miasma. At higher levels, simply flying could wipe out entire nations. To prove it, he flaps his wings slightly, and a nearby plant instantly withers and dies. That's when he realizes the truth. He's no longer just dangerous, he's a living weapon. Next, he learns about Sickly Breath, an ability that spreads deadly diseases and has destroyed an entire civilization in the past. His chest tightens as he wonders if becoming a hero is still even possible. He then asks about his titles. One, Baby Dragon Hero, is tied to courage and hope, offering a path toward heroic evolution. That gives him brief comfort, but the next title, Infestor, belongs to ruthless destroyers and strengthens dark powers while making holy magic harder to learn. Horrified, he begs to give it back. Regret floods his heart as he wishes he could return to being the harmless little dragon he once was. Meanwhile, back in the village, Miria walks with Alariel, an elf guardian. Miria asks about the protection stones surrounding the village. Alariel explains that they create a defensive field that discourages monsters, though powerful ones can still enter. As she listens, Miria thinks about the small dragon she met in the forest. The more she remembers, the more she believes he never meant her any harm. She admits to Alariel that she feels her life was saved by that dragon. Alariel gently warns her not to grow attached. Monsters, she explains, continue to evolve, and with each evolution, they become far more dangerous. Monsters grow by hunting other creatures, gaining levels with every victory. What begins as something weak and harmless can slowly turn into a terrifying force. Far away, a newly evolved dragon feels this cruel truth unfolding. One skill, one level, and one irreversible choice at a time. Mia points out that humans grow stronger too. They train, fight, and gain new skills as they level up. The elf Marielle agrees, but quickly explains the key difference. Humans improve while staying the same, but monsters don't. Every monster has a level limit, and once it's reached, they are forced to evolve. This cycle repeats endlessly, turning them into increasingly dangerous beings. wings. Mia struggles to believe people figured this out long ago. Marielle sighs, reminding her she already explained this years ago, back when Mia was 5 and had to crane her neck just to meet her eyes. When Mia teasingly brings up Marielle's height, the elf clicks her tongue in irritation before continuing. She explains that throughout history, rare individuals appeared who could hear a divine voice. These chosen ones were given direct knowledge about levels, monsters, and the rules of the world. They became heroes and saints, passing that knowledge down to humanity. People didn't learn the truth through trial and error. It was handed to them by the divine itself. Marielle's voice grows serious as she explains that monsters live only to survive, fight, and grow stronger. Every battle pushes them closer to evolution, and their instincts slowly drive them toward violence. She warns Mia not to place her hopes in monsters. Even if the small dragon once saved her, there's no guarantee he'll remain the same. The next time they meet, he could be far stronger or even attack her. Disturbed, Mia begs her to stop. Marielle gently but firmly tells her that monsters are creatures of conflict, fundamentally incompatible with humans. Far away, the young dragon feels those words echo in his heart. Still, he refuses to give up. If monsters are forced to evolve, then he'll choose the right path. He'll become a hero and someday reunite with Miria. With renewed resolve, he sets out to hunt weaker enemies, but everything goes wrong almost immediately. Without warning, his body freezes. Sticky threads wrap tightly around his limbs. Looking down, he realizes he's walked straight into a giant spider's territory, one far stronger than anything he intended to fight. More web shoots toward him. Panicking, he makes a reckless choice and ignites his own body in flames to burn the threads away. He rolls wildly across the ground, screaming inside as the fire consumes him. Then a system message appears. Fire resistance acquired. The pain fades just enough for him to regain control. The spider is briefly trapped and injured. Seizing the chance, he lunges forward, slashing with his claws and injecting paralyzing poison before retreating. But when he checks her health, his heart sinks. She's barely lost half. This fight is unwinnable. He chooses to run. The dragon rolls away at full speed as the spider gives chase. Desperate, he tries to fly, but his small wings fail him again and again. His flight skill is still too weak, so he keeps rolling. Minutes pass. His body burns with exhaustion, yet the spider never slows. Just as despair sets in, a notification appears. Roll has leveled up, rank 3. Along with it comes a new title, Chicken Runner. The name stings, but he accepts it. He would fight if he stood any chance. Suddenly, a cliff appears ahead. With no time left, he takes a gamble. He leaps into the air, falling for a terrifying moment until his wings finally catch the wind. His flight skill activates properly for the first time, carrying him across the gap. He crashes onto the ground, completely drained. Turning back, he realizes the spider is gone. Relief washes over him. One day when he's stronger, he promises himself he'll return and defeat her for real. He notices it too late. A bridge of webbing stretches across the gap. Before he can react, the giant spider lands right in front of him and the chase starts all over again. As he rolls through the forest in panic, the system announces roll level 4. Normally that would be good news, but it means nothing while he's still fleeing for his life. Then something ridiculous happens. He accidentally rolls over a lion, killing it instantly. Thanks to his walking egg title, the bonus experience stacks, pushing his level from 1 to 3 in seconds. Still rolling non-stop, he crushes every creature in his path. One after another falls, and his level shoots all the way to 8. When he finally notices the massive jump in his stats, his fear fades. For the first time, he feels like he might actually win. He stops running. Checking the spider's abilities, he notices a dangerous skill. Double poison. He doesn't know exactly what it does, but waiting would only make things worse. Gathering his courage, he fires baby breath at full power. The spider responds with poison, burning his throat despite his resistance. Then he realizes something. She's waiting for the poison to weaken him. That gives him an idea. Pretending to stagger, he lures her closer. The moment she leaps, he fires baby breath again and follows with a crushing strike. It works. The system floods him with notifications as his level jumps from 8 to 14. He survived. He won, but the reward he wants never appears. Instead, baby breath reaches level 3 and he gains a new skill, Dragon Tail. His joy vanishes. After calming down, he convinces himself that human transformation must require some hidden condition. That night, he finds a cave near where the lion fell and claims it as a temporary base. The meat he eats tastes awful, but mixing in fruit juice makes it surprisingly good. As he rests, the system grants him a new title, Chief Lord, a name that makes him uneasy. Lying there, he imagines a peaceful future, maybe even getting along with villagers. The thought quickly dies. In his current form, not even Miria would recognize him. Furious, he curses the system for dangling human transformation in front of him without giving it. Back in the village, Miria hears an old man claiming he saw a strange, corpse-like figure near the lake. Most dismiss him as drunk, but the story deeply unsettles her. Later, she tells Marielle and asks to search the forest. The elf refuses, unwilling to risk more lives, but promises to contact the guild instead. The story returns to the dragon as he continues traveling. He encounters a strange monster that looks like living water. When he tries to read its stats, pain explodes in his head. The system warns his skill isn't stable yet, but having just reached level 4, he briefly glimpses the creature's information. Still confused, the young dragon moves forward, determined to grow stronger and chase the future he refuses to give up. The dragon doesn't waste a second. The moment it gets a chance, it bolts away, narrowly dodging an attack from that strange slime creature. He still has no idea what that thing really is, but one thing is clear: it's bad news. Even though its stats don't look impressive, the dragon trusts his instincts and decides to stay far away from it. Today, he'll explore somewhere else. As he wanders deeper into the forest, something unusual catches his eye. Sitting quietly on the ground is a neat-looking pot. The dragon thinks it could be useful, maybe for storing fruits or food later on. Curious, he reaches out to grab it. Big mistake. The moment he touches it, the pot shoots straight into the air and smacks him right in the face. Startled, the dragon quickly checks its status and realizes the truth. This isn't a normal pot at all. It's a rank D monster called Potoris. Whether it's more pot than tortoise, he can't tell, but he knows he needs to act fast. The dragon throws a dragon punch at it. The result? Almost nothing. The monster's HP barely drops from 28 to 27. Annoyed, the dragon goes all out, attacking non-stop from every angle and even smashing it with his tail. Still, the Potoris calmly uses its rest skill, restoring its HP back to full. No matter what he does, the shell won't crack. Thinking quickly, the dragon comes up with a new idea. If this thing is like a land-based tortoise, then gravity should still work. Without hesitating, he grabs the Potoris and hurls it straight off a nearby cliff. The monster lets out a loud screech as it falls into the river below. A divine voice echoes in his head, announcing that he's gained 36 experience points. Thanks to his walking egg title, he earns bonus experience and levels up from 14 to 15. Before he can reflect any further, trouble arrives. Several Potoris suddenly surround him. The screech from earlier wasn't a death cry, it was the skill call allies. The monsters stack themselves on top of each other, forming a tall, wobbly tower. It's not scary at all. The dragon simply leaps high into the air and crashes down, crushing the entire group in one move. The divine voice announces a massive reward, 594 experience points, a new skill called Meteorite, and even more bonus experience from Walking Egg. The dragon skyrockets from level 15 all the way to level 30. His fly skill rises to level 2, and view status increases to level 5. He's very pleased with the outcome. Fighting them in groups is incredibly efficient. Sadly, every shell breaks during the fight, so there's still no usable pot. At least he gets meat, so it's not a total loss. As he picks up one of the fallen Potoris, the dragon sighs and mutters that he'd really like some vegetables too. Meat alone isn't enough. Veggies matter. Suddenly, he freezes. Footsteps. That's new. The dragon quickly hides behind a tree and peers out. What he sees looks like a bear walking through the forest, but something about it feels wrong. When he tries to read its stats, the divine voice tells him it's too far away. However, species information is still available. The creature is a clay bear, a powerful D+ rank monster made entirely of clay, with extremely high regeneration. It's the same rank as the dragon, tough but beatable. And then the dragon gets excited. If it's really made of clay, then after defeating it, he could shape it however he wants. Carefully, the dragon sneaks closer. The monster hasn't noticed him yet. Perfect. He climbs a tree and launches a surprise attack with King Fist. At the last second, the clay bear reacts, opening the back of its body like a trap. The dragon barely dodges in time, panicking. Yeah, that is not a bear. The clay bear lunges at him, but the dragon evades again and lands 2 solid hits in return. Its HP drops sharply from 40 to 25. But before the dragon can celebrate, the monster's regeneration kicks in, restoring its health within seconds. The real fight is only just beginning. The dragon quickly realizes that fighting the clay bear head-on is pointless. At this rate, he'll never win, so instead of attacking recklessly, he rolls around non-stop, dodging every strike while thinking. He can't defeat it in a single blow at his current level, and even his strongest move, Meteorite, can't lift something that massive into the air. For now, he switches to hit-and-run tactics, circling behind the clay bear and retreating again and again. The monster keeps regenerating, but the dragon notices its MP steadily dropping. As long as he keeps forcing it to heal, victory is possible. Suddenly, the clay bear enters a frenzy and unleashes Sandstorm, filling the area with blinding dust and blocking any approach. When the storm finally ends, the dragon sees that the monster has covered itself in sharp spikes. Rolling attacks are no longer an option. Still, the plan worked. Its MP has fallen from 100 to just 19, likely drained by regeneration, Sandstorm, and transformation. The clay bear rips off its own spikes and hurls them at him. The dragon dodges and notices something strange. The spikes melt the moment they hit the ground. Testing an idea, he leaps in, tears off one of the bear's arms, and confirms that the clay softens once separated from the body. Using the arm, the dragon forms a dense clay ball. Then, combining it with Meteorite, he launches himself along with it, slamming straight into the clay bear and crushing half its body in one devastating attack. The divine voice confirms the victory. He gains 150 experience points plus bonus EXP from Walking Egg, leveling up from 30 to 33. He also unlocks a new skill, Nutcracker. Not very flashy, but effective. Exhausted but satisfied, the dragon claims the clay as his reward. Back at the cave, he molds the clay into pots and bowls, firing them with his own flame. While they harden, he goes searching for food, hoping for vegetables. He finds a lightning shroom, but learns it has a mild paralysis effect, so he leaves it alone. His upgraded view status skill makes gathering much easier. Later, he encounters a giant pink flower. Before he can fully appraise it, the plant opens its mouth, revealing teeth. Panicking, the dragon slices it down. The divine voice explains it was a C-rank carnivorous flower that can't digest salt. Salt builds up in its roots, so the dragon collects some. It's too valuable to ignore. Elsewhere, Mia secretly leaves her village and heads into the forest. Despite being told to wait for guild help, she can't stand still knowing someone might still be alive. Guilt pushes her forward. Along the way, a dark worm ambushes her, but she reacts instantly, casting Fireball and defeating it in one hit. Shaken, she steadies herself and keeps going. Meanwhile, the dragon stumbles upon another discovery, a massive mushroom. The divine voice identifies it as a D-rank monster shroom. The monster shroom can walk once it matures and eventually attacks people. Its taste is close to meat, making it a rare delicacy. The dragon is happy with the find and already imagines it turning into a rich broth. His luck continues when he finds another strange mushroom. The divine voice identifies it as Marat Trogia, an A-rank item. Shocked by its value, the dragon listens as the voice explains that, if cultivated, it could revive a failing nation's economy. That sounds impressive until he hears the downside. The mushroom causes intense hallucinations and euphoria. Before the explanation can even finish, the dragon burns the mushrooms to ash, saying he wants nothing to do with it. The divine voice announces that his itty-bitty hero title has leveled up. Elsewhere, Mia continues through the forest, carefully avoiding monsters and hiding whenever possible. The dragon then discovers a B+ rank fruit called Piperus. Its aroma boosts appetite, and long ago it was so popular among nobles that it was worth its weight in gold. Curious, he gathers some to try later. Mia ventures deeper into the forest and starts to hesitate. Strange eyes watch her from the treetops, filling her with unease. Still, she refuses to give up completely, and decides to search the forest edge one last time before heading back. Meanwhile, the dragon enjoys his growing collection of ingredients. He finds a light mushroom, brings it back to his cave for illumination, and checks his pottery. Everything fired perfectly. Using his new pot, he cooks a simple meal with meat, fruit, salt, and water. The result is better than expected. The salt enhances the flavor beautifully. As he eats, he feels like he's reclaiming a forgotten part of his old life. The divine voice announces that Mr. Cook has leveled up. Still, the bowl isn't very practical, so the dragon dragon plans to make a better one, along with a spoon and brick walls for the cave. Just thinking about it earns him the title Ceramic Artisan. The next day, a carriage arrives near the forest carrying adventurers. One girl wakes her companion, saying they've reached Noah's forest, the place the guild wants investigated. Unaware of this, the dragon returns home after hunting gray wolves. When no one answers his greeting, a brief loneliness hits him, but he shakes it off and gets to work. He butchers the wolves, sets the pelts out to dry, and marinates some meat. Peace doesn't last long. When he checks the drying pelts later, he finds monkeys eating them. They flee when spotted, but the dragon knows they'll be back. To protect his food, he decides to poison the jerky. While searching for toxic plants, he realizes he's gotten good at recognizing poisonous flora. He stumbles upon a beautiful flower field and briefly considers decorating his cave, until a small creature suddenly appears. Using view status, he identifies it as a Venom Princess Lacerta, a monster with nothing but poison-based skills. Before he can react, it lunges from behind and bites him, then instantly retreats. At first, it seems like it ran away. Then the poison kicks in. A sharp pain spreads through his body as the divine voice announces his poison resistance has leveled up. Still, this venom is different. His shoulder won't move, dizziness sets in, and before long, the dragon collapses to the ground, realizing this was exactly how the monster hunts. Subscribe if you don't want me to sneak into your bedroom tonight.